Shreyas,
Hello,
are you
sir.
able to see everything on my screen? Are you able to see this whiteboard?
Yes, sir.
It's 100% clear now, ne?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. Let me just check if I need to do some more settings. Edit permissions, new. Okay, and then it has already started recording. That's good. Pin. Okay, so obviously, as I've indicated, we're going to firstly start with yesterday's homework. Let me just try to see 2x minus 4. Is it not blurry on your side?
No, sir. It's clear.
100%. Okay. So I just want to quickly go through the homework that I gave it to you yesterday. Let me just check on that photo. So the equation was, what was it? It was h, first one, yeah, no, the first one, number one, was h minus 19. It's equals to negative 19. And the second one, just make sure that I copy everything correctly there, Shreyas. So
Yes,
plus
sir.
k, that was equals to minus a minus or negative 2. The other one was negative 7 minus y, and this is equals to 3. So everything is copied correctly, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So now I'm going to guide you to answer 3 of these questions, because I've noticed where you made some mistakes. So I'm going to guide you to correct those mistakes, and also to notice what made you to make a mistake. Only if we can be able to diagnose the reason why you're making those mistakes, then you'll be able to remember those mistakes. So remember, Shreyas, in most cases, especially in mathematics, now that I've noticed that you are good in algebra, there's a limitation to algebra, in such a sense that when you get to grade 11, that part of algebra, it's somehow hidden in some equations, or it gets more complex as you go to the next grade. So now the most important key in mathematics is for you to be able to solve for the unknown. So within solving the unknown, you also involve a bit of the work that you do when you're working with algebraic equations or expressions. So let's now start with our first equation. So on our first equation, we've got an equation because of that equal sign, firstly. So now that we've got an equation, it means we have to solve. What are we solving? We solve for the unknown. What is the unknown? In this case, the unknown is represented by letter H. So I think the reason why, Shreyas, you're making a mistake is because of forgetting that part. You remember there were 4 steps that I said we need to follow when you're given an equation. Do you still remember from yesterday's lesson?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so there was that one important step that you kept on missing. So that means I'm confident you were able to do 2 steps. The third one, you've been forgetting it. And the fourth one, it's obviously solving, which is what I need to cook you on. So in the meantime, let's now work towards practicing the first step. I mean, the third step, where you need to interpret this equation. So that step, Shreyas, that's where I want you to say what number, when you subtract 19, it gives you negative 19. Ne?
Yes,
So,
sir.
Shreyas, what I've just explained on that equation number 1, can you maybe give it a try to explain on equation number 2.
On equation number 2. Equation
Yeah,
number 2.
Yeah.
Is
So for now, because I'm already confident that you are good with that one of explaining equation or expression and all of that. But now I only want you to do this part of saying, according to this equation, they are asking what number, which is represented by letter H, when you subtract 19 will be equals to negative 19. If you want me to give you another example before you explain those two, I can also do that. You can just let me know.
Yes, sir.
Are you giving this one a try, or would you like if I give you another example?
No, sir, I'll give that one a try.
You'll give it a try?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no, you can try to interpret that equation number 2.
So, sir, according to this equation, 2, we need to find for the unknown, which is k, which is 2 plus k, which equals to negative 2.
So that means whatever number that you say 2 plus that number, it must be equals to negative 2. Ne?
Yes, sir.
Also give this one a try, the third one.
The third one. So
Yeah.
whatever number minus y must give you 3.
So in this case, you're saying whatever number where you say negative 7 minus that number is equals to 3. Must be equals to 3. You agree, ne?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's try to solve number 1, which is h minus 19 is equals to negative 19. So Shreyas, let's try to work out this one. Obviously, you want to have letters on the left, isn't it? Letters or letter. Let's just say you want to have a letter on the left and say equals to, then you want to have numbers on the right, isn't it? Numbers or just a number. Do you agree with me on that one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So now you obviously need to transpose, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So now when you transpose, what happens, Shreyas?
So you need to take your number, which is a negative or a positive, and you have to put it on your right side.
So that means we need to take all the numbers on the left to the right. Why? Because we want to remain with the letters on the left and have the numbers on the right, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So now, when we transpose, what happens to that number that you are transposing?
So it will change from a negative to a positive number.
What does it mean? What do I write on the left?
So you have to write h equals to negative 19.
Which negative 19? Is it that one or this one?
The one after the equal sign.
This one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it means it's the one on the right side of the equal sign. Okay, then continue.
Plus positive 19.
Plus 19.
Yes, sir.
Okay, which is equals to
0.
Which is equals to 0. Then what does it mean? What does that 0 mean, Shreyas?
It stands for h, which equals to 0.
It stands for h. That means when you substitute 8 I mean, when you substitute 0 minus 19, it must be equal to a negative 19, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So when you say 0 minus 19, are you getting negative 19?
Yes, sir.
100%. So now, do you notice where you made a mistake on that that picture that you sent me where you were working this equation? Were you able to notice where you made a mistake?
Yes, sir.
What was that mistake, Shreyas?
Sir, instead of making the 19 on the left-hand side a positive number, I left it as a negative number.
You wrote it as a negative number, ne?
Yes, sir.
Which means you need to make a note somewhere to say at all times you transpose, you change the sign of the original number. So I'm going to tell you what I've noticed, Shreyas. So with you only remember if a number is positive. That's when you remember to write it as a negative number. But when it's given as a negative, you forget to change it to a positive. So that was the reason why I gave you that negative number. I wanted to just confirm if indeed you make that mistake. So I'm glad that you did not copy when you're writing that homework, because I'm able to notice some more information that I can work on. So that means, Shreyas, at all times you need to remember that when you transpose, the number or the term that you're transposing, it has to change its original sign. Name.
Yes, sir.
100%. So now let's work that one. So start with that interpretation. So now already I know you know this is an equation. What. Then now I want you to explain what does this equation mean?
So according to this equation, it means that whatever number plus k must equal to negative 2.
Okay, so let's put it correctly, Shreyas. So you're supposed to say what number when you say 2 plus that number will be equals to negative 2. Do you get it now?
Yes, sir.
So it's more like you start from the left going in that direction, just like that one. So with this one, you're going to say what number, so it's more like what number refers to the unknown name. So it's more like you have to say what number when you minus 19 will be equals to negative 19. Can you understand it, Shreyas?
Yes, sir.
100%. So for number 2, you're going to say what number when you say 2 plus that number will be equal to negative 2. So do you now see the difference between these two? That one, it starts with the unknown. This one, it starts with a number. So when it starts with an unknown, you can just say what number when you say, or maybe what number when you minus 19 will be equal to negative 19. Or for this one, you'll say what number when you say 2 plus that number will be equals to negative 2. Do you get it now, Shreyas?
Yes, sir.
100%. So now let's solve that one. What is our first step, Shreyas?
The first step is to uh, take your positive 2
Mm-hmm.
and transpose it to the left-hand side.
Wait, to which side?
To the right-hand side.
To the right-hand side. Or maybe you can just say to the right side of the equal sign. Nah.
Yes, sir.
Then what do I write on the left side of the equal sign?
You have to write k equals 2.
So k is equals to
negative 2
negative 2
plus positive 2.
Weight plus positive 2, like that, ne?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then what's the next step?
So you have to then you have to take your answer, which equals to k.
So what is that answer, Shreyas?
0.
Which is 0, ne?
Yes, sir.
So when you say 2 plus into 0, does it give you a negative 2?
No, sir.
If it doesn't give us negative 2, Shreyas, what does it mean?
Is that we instead of changing the positive 2, we're supposed to change it into a negative 2.
So in short, it means we made a mistake somewhere, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So now that you've identified that mistake, I'm going to say minus over there. So can you see, Shreyas, which means I'll need to give you more of this type of problem so that you can try to solve them and get used to them, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Then what is the answer?
Negative 4.
Negative 4, 100%, which means when we say 2 plus negative 4, does it give us negative 2?
Yes, sir.
100%, which is an indication that now we've done it correctly. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
So let's move to a problem number 3, which is negative 7 minus y. This is equals to 3. So Shreyas, that interpretation again.
So what number? So according to this equation, whatever number minus negative 7 minus whatever number will have to give you 3.
100%. This is exactly how you interpret that given equation, Shreyas, which means what is that number when you say negative 7 minus that number will be equals to 3. Now we can start to solve. Then, Shreyas, what is our first step?
So we have to take the negative 7 and transpose it to the right side of the equal sign.
Then on the left, what do I write?
We have y, which equals 2. We have y, which equals 2. So we have positive 3 plus 7.
Plus 7.
Yes, sir.
Then our next step.
So then we have to say that y equals to 10.
It's equals to 10. Let's test if this 10 is wrong or correct.
Yes,
so
sir.
How do we test it, Shreyas? Tell me what to write.
So you have to take your negative 7 minus bracketed by 10, close brackets, which will give me, which doesn't give me 3 gives me negative 17.
It gives you negative 17. What does it mean when we get negative 17?
That we have made a mistake.
We've made a mistake somewhere. Ne?
Yes, sir.
So, this is where you made a mistake, Shreyas. When you transpose negative 7, what is it that's remaining? It's more like you only remove that term only. When you remove it, what are you remaining with on the left side of the equal sign, or on the left?
Negative y.
Negative y. So can you see where you made a mistake?
Yes, sir.
So that means on this step you are going to say negative y is equals to 10. Can you
Negative.
see?
Yes, sir.
So now it means you need to remove that negative. So obviously you know there's a y there which is not necessary to write. Do you agree with me on that one, Shreyas?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now that you want to remove that negative y, negative 1, you just divide everything by negative 1. Remember what you do on the left, you also do on the right. Why did you have to divide by negative 1? It's because you wanted to remove that negative 1 so that you remain with y, which is equals to negative 10. When you punch this on a calculator, you obviously get negative 10, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
100%. 100%. So, Shreyas, now what I'm going to do is to remove all of this. Or do we need to, can you quickly test if that answer is correct? So just
So
test if it's
negative
correct.
7 minus negative 10 gives me a positive 3.
Which is correct, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So I'm just going to quickly write that plus 5. This is equals to, let's say, 30. Number 3, we've got, let me say 19 minus p is equals to 14. Okay. All right. Another one, number 4. Let's say 16 plus x is equals to negative 16. All right. No, let me leave it there. So, Shreyas, can we
Yes, sir.
quickly try to solve for the unknown for each of these problems? Firstly, start with number 1. Interpret it exactly the way I taught you by not skipping any step. From where you interpret whether this is an equation or expression, and again, interpret that problem according to that way where you tell us what that unknown means. And then from there, we solve. As soon as we are done solving this, I'm still going to give you some problems to work on where you need to solve for the unknown. But once we are done with these problems, I'm going to now introduce you to a new type of a problem that I need you to also work on. As soon as we are done with that one, I'm going to merge the two types of problems, of which, if you can successfully manage to master those, I'm telling you, Shreyas, for those who are attending this lesson, I see on the line we've got Jack. We also have Ele. I'm not really sure in which grades they are. They could be in grade 11 or grade 12. Jack and Tele, this is a grade 10 lesson, but it's also suitable for you guys. This is where you need to master how to solve for the unknown. So, Shreyas, everything that these guys are doing in grade 11 and grade 12, also when you get to tertiary level, you are almost solving in every problem that requires mathematical attention. So you need to be able to know that at all times, when you've got an unknown, you want to remain with the unknown on the left. And with my explanation from our very first lesson, I indicated that an unknown is represented by a letter, which could be any letter from A up to Z. Can you see on my first equation, the problem over there, or the unknown, is represented by letter K. On the second equation by letter M, third by letter P, fourth by letter X. So, Shreyas, do you now see that we make use of the letters to represent the unknown?
Yes, sir.
So, Shreyas, the unknown actually represents a certain value. That value is a certain number, which could be any negative number, Shreyas. It could also be 0, and again, it could be any positive number. It doesn't matter whether it's negative million, negative 100, negative 1,000, whatever negative number can represent an unknown. Shreyas, an unknown can be 0. Again, Shreyas, an unknown can be any positive number, which could be positive 10, positive 1, positive 1,2, positive 1,222, positive 3,76, whatever, positive 100,000, positive 1 million, positive whatever number, Shreyas. So that is why, in short, I want to emphasize to you that at all times when you solve for the unknown, we want to have the letters on the left and the numbers on the right. So this is a general, let's say, I'm not really sure of what to call it, but it's just a general guide to say when you've got an unknown, you want to have the letter on the left and the letter on the right. And now that we have done multiple problems, I'm 100% sure that you fully understand what I mean when we say we want to have the letters on the left and numbers on the right, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so Shreyas, I think as part of your notes, let's do this. Write letters is equals to numbers. Then, secondly, just say is equals to, let's say, how can I write this one? Okay, let's say, if you've got a positive number and you transpose, it becomes a negative number. And say if you've got a negative number and you transpose, it has to be a positive number. Shreyas,
Yes, sir.
please do write down what I've just written. Obviously, you do understand, or do you want me to explain it to you what it means?
No, sir, I understand it.
100%, 100%. So now let's also write this as part of our notes again. To say, I think based on yesterday's notes, those 4 points, what did we write there, Shreyas? I just remember the last one. This is where you solve for a unknown.
No, so isn't it
And
the
then
third one
that
for the
first
unknown?
one, what was it? So for what then? What was the final one?
So the first one is interpret.
Okay, so you interpret. Mm-hmm.
The second one is explain the problem.
Oh yes, explain the problem.
The third one
Mm-hmm.
is solve.
Solve. Okay, solve for unknown, isn't it?
Yes, sir. And then the last one
Oh
is
yes,
prove
solve
your
for
answer.
unknown. Yes, proof. What was the last one? Is it proof?
Prove answer.
Yes, prove the answer. Unknown. Okay, so Shreyas, at all times, Shreyas, I'm begging you. I am begging you, Shreyas. Actually, we're supposed to actually have this first as part of your nose, and then what comes after that is this one. Then from there, that last representation there. But it's fine even if it's written in this way. So every time, Shreyas, when you solve for these problems, let's follow all of this before we perform any calculations. When you're given a problem, quickly interpret, quickly explain the problem, solve for the unknown. When you get to that part where you solve for the unknown, just remind yourself this part to say, when you transpose, you change the sign of the original number that you are transposing. And whatever that remains, you write it exactly as it is. Do you understand this part?
Yes, sir.
100%. So I'm going to do it for you for the first problem. From there, going forward, you will take over. So the first
So is it fine
problem
if I do the
is,
first problem?
sorry, say again.
Is it fine if I do the first problem?
Are you saying you want to do the first problem, or should I do it?
No, sir, I'm gonna do the first problem.
Or you want to do it? Nay,
Yes, sir.
100%. So give it a try, following all of that information that we just did as part of our notes.
Yes, sir. So this is an equation because
Mm-hmm.
of the equal sign, which you have to solve for the unknown, which is k.
Mm-hmm.
And according to this equation, whatever number when you minus 4 must give you
Mm-hmm.
negative 19.
So you're done with the interpretation. Now you've just done the explanation of the problem, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
100%. I'm very much happy so far. Then let's continue now. So here comes that part where you need to solve, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
But before you solve, then explain that part of transposing.
So you have to take your negative 4, transpose it from to the right side of your equal sign, which it will be a negative number. It will
Wait,
be a
wait, wait,
positive
wait,
number.
wait. Shreyas. So I'm going to make this as a part of our notes. As part of our notes. So let's say when you transpose, what did I say first? I said when you transpose, you change the original
Somebody.
sign of the term that you are transposing. And okay, let me not use the word whatever, but say and term in brackets S, which means if on the left you've got a term or more terms, you write as they are. So let's see, when you transpose, change the original sign of the term that you are transposing, and term or terms remaining, you write as they are. This is exactly what I wanted, Shreyas. Did you write it down, or should I
Yes, I'm
call it
writing
out for
down.
you? Okay, so guys, I'm saying when you transpose, change the original sign of the term, also in brackets here, because sometimes it's not at all times where you'll be transposing just one term. You might find that you've got more numbers on the left of which you need to transpose. So when you transpose, change the original sign of the term or terms that you are transposing, and terms remaining you write as they are. Did you now write a full sentence?
So I'm writing the last parts now.
Okay, so that means this should also form part of your notes and part of your explanation when you go through all of this before you start solving.
So what's
Maybe
the last word, sir, on the third line?
so you write as they are.
As they are.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that means, Shreyas, we are going to add that in between explaining problem and solve, and say this is what can we call it? Is it a code or reminder? Okay, let's say reminder, a state reminder, state or code reminder. Shreyas, in
Yes,
between,
sir.
you can just add that note. Maybe you'll rewrite this notes nicely so that you don't forget. So, Shreyas, when you
Yes, sir.
transpose, change the original sign of the term or terms that you are transposing, and term or terms remaining you write as they are. Shreyas, if we have to take 10 years for you to master this, we are going to take 10 years. Because one thing for sure, if you can master just this thing, and I know you also know very well that it's not that much complicated. You just need to do more of practicing it, isn't it? So if you can master this one, I'm telling you, Shreyas, whether we go to functions, whether we go to factorization, whether we go to mathematics paper 2, whether we go to, it could be physical sciences as well, whether we go to functions, graphs, whatever in mathematics, Shreyas, these are the basics that you apply, whether you're in primary, secondary, tertiary, or wherever. These are the basics that you apply. So have a look at that first problem, Shreyas. It seems so easy, but you can give it to someone who's in matric and they might take long to arrive at the right answer. Why? Because they do not know how to interpret the given problem. So consider yourself very, very lucky that you are able to now interpret the given problems. You just need to apply all of this. Once you are able to apply all of these, Shreyas, I'm telling you, you'll be very, very good in mathematics, especially in cases where you need to solve problems. So I think, I'm not sure if I mentioned it to you or some other learner on previous lessons, that I did my grade 10, 11, and 12 in grade 12. So I did all of those in grade 12. That is why you find someone in grade 12 struggling with maths, but when we do grade 10 related lessons, they feel like it's not for their grade, but still they are struggling, not knowing that this is the basic information that they need. So that is the reason why I'm saying I would rather spend 10 years with you just to make sure that you master all of this simple stuff. So once we've mastered the basics, I'm telling you, on our upcoming lessons, we won't even need an hour to do our lessons. In just less than 30 minutes, we'll be done. I want to tell you something, Shreyas. You know, when I did, when I was in matric, Shreyas, um, can you see we've got one, two, three, four problems? Can you see?
Yes, sir.
So I was so good such that instead of me having to do all of these problems, I just created one problem which has got the ingredients of all of these four problems. So for me, when I had to prepare for a test, a exam, or whatever, I did not have to go through all of these problems. I just solved one problem that has, that had all the ingredients. Do you know this thing called kota or spato?
Let's say again, please.
Do you know this thing? I think in English is it bani chow or chow bani? It should be bani chow. Do
Yes,
you
sir.
know it? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we call it kota. Uh, let before we do these problems, Shreyas, I just want
Yes,
to
sir.
uh, I just want you to have an understanding of what I'm talking about. Let's do a bunny chow. What do you need to do a bunny chow?
So you need bread.
You need bread. Okay, let's say you need bread there. This is bread. What else do we need?
You need potatoes.
Potatoes to make the chips. So let's say these are potatoes. What else do we need?
You need mutton curry.
Mutton curry. Let's say you need mutton curry. Yes. And then let's say maybe you need a Russian. A Russian.
Yeah,
Let's say
and
you
salad.
need and salad. Let's say you need a salad. Let's say you need a salad, and then you also need those sauces, isn't it? Sauces. Let's say a tomato sauce. What else can I
Yes,
think
sir.
of? Let's say maybe Vienna. Okay, let's also say maybe you need a Vienna. Nah. So, uh, Shreyas, imagine
Yes,
you
sir.
having to eat each of these things or all of these things just so that you can have a taste of each of them. Nah. So, as a smart person would not want to completely eat a full loaf of bread, eat a full plate of what is it? Is it mutton curry there?
Yes, sir.
You wouldn't want to eat a plate full of potatoes. You wouldn't want to eat a a jug whatever full of tomato sauce. You wouldn't want to eat a plate full of salad. You wouldn't want to eat a packet of Viennas. But instead, what would you do, Shreyas? You just take a portion of bread, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Mix it with a portion of that. Instead of a full bag of ration, you take that. One potato, you've got a few chips there. Then just a few drops of those sauces. Then just a portion of what is it, salad. Just one Vienna there. Then you make that what is it, bunny chow. Can you see, Shreyas?
Yes, sir.
Then you just eat one of these. Then it's more like you've tasted all of those things. Do you agree, Shreyas?
Yes, sir.
100%. So now back to the business of the day. So I want you to now have an understanding of what I meant when I said with just one problem, you can solve all of this. So now can you see, we've got Vienna there, we've got bread there, we've got mutton curry there, we've got sauces there. So instead of you having to eat all of this, you just create that one problem, Shreyas, just that one problem that has got the ingredients or the tricks within each of these problems. So every time when you go to an exam, you just do that one problem that has got all of this. I'm not sure if you've got an idea of what I'm talking about now, Shreyas.
No, sir. I got an idea of what you're talking about.
Which means you need to be that much good in maths for you to derive your own problems that you are going to solve. So for me, when preparing for a maths test, I did not have to sit on a table and write all of this saying I'm practicing and everything. I just have that problem, look at it, and just interpret it using this interpretation. I don't need to write because I've already done more of those type of problems. I know when I write, I'm going to start with this transpose, and then from there, I'm going to divide, remove that negative, then I get to the final answer. So that is the state where I need to prepare you. Until you get to that stage, Shreyas, I'm going to be very, very much happy and very, very much confident that when it comes to mathematics, you will never struggle to solve any equation. You will never struggle to understand your teacher in class. You will never struggle to mark for yourself or to detect if your final answer is wrong or correct. So now, Shreyas, let's go to the business of the day. I think you've gained a bit of confidence based on what I've said. So number one, uh, just give it a try, Shreyas. I know you're going to moor it. So give it a try. Starting from that first step where you need to interpret, explain, state reminder, solve, so that then prove the answer. Take me through all of those steps. When is the time for me to write? If you're also writing on your side, just mention it so that I'm also able to write. Go for it, Shreyas.
So, so since we finished interpret and explain the problem,
Come again, Shreyas.
so we finished interpret and explain the problem.
Oh, yes, yes. You've already interpreted and explained the problem. Yes. So now let's continue to the next step.
So when you, the next step is to transpose,
Mm-hmm.
which between transposing you have to change your original sign, which is a negative, to a positive sign,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to write the remaining terms as they are.
Okay, 100%. So now, next step
The next step is to solve for the unknown.
is to solve the unknown. Let's solve. And when we solve, let's apply this, the statement that you have just stated. Nay.
Yes, sir.
So tell me what to write, Shreyas.
So you have to take K, which equals
Did you
to,
write K as it is?
yes, sir.
Okay. Then you say it's equals to
negative 19 plus 4.
Did you write what was on the right side as it is?
On the right side, yes, sir.
So by that I meant to say, since on the left you wrote whatever that remaining as it is, even on the right you just write whatever that it was. You only transpose and change the sign as you say. So everything else remains as it is. You are only working that part where you transpose. You get it now, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So what is the step?
Then the next one is to prove your answer, which is k equals to negative 15. Hello?
So you're saying k is equals to negative 15. So this step, Shreyas, is the final step. We're not yet proving name.
Yes, sir.
I meant to say this is the last step where we solve for the unknown, which is k. Then after, that's when we prove the answer.
Yes, sir. So whatever number which is represented as k, you must minus it by 4, which has to give you negative 19.
Let's prove so you can just in terms of what I.
So
So what is that number, Shreyas?
The number is
what is that whatever number? So when you say negative 15 minus 4, is it equal to a negative 19?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. 100%. So can you see, this is how easy it is, Shreyas. So for the next few days, we are going to be following all of these steps until you already know by heart that this is how you do it. Then on some problems, we'll just straight away solve the problem. But if you make a mistake and you don't find the correct answer, then you redo it following this procedure.
Yes, sir.
So now let's do that last one. From there, I'm going to add to these two with just one more. Then you're going to have 3 problems to solve. Then we'll just do like we did. You just send me via inbox. So this is minus, or it's negative m, then plus 5. This is equals to 30. Go for it, Shreyas. Take me through.
So, sir, the first we have to interpret it. So this is an equation because of the equal sign, and you have to solve for the unknown, which is negative m. And according to this equation, where whatever number which is represented as negative n.
Wait. So Shreyas, Shreyas?
Yes, sir.
So I wanted to say an unknown is just a letter which is any letter from A all the way up to Z. So an unknown, we do not refer to an unknown as a negative letter. So even though on the equation is in a form of a negative, but remember, it's negative 1 over there, just like you have negative 2y. So let's say plus 4 is equals to 7. So you still say this is an equation because of an equal sign. When we've got an equation, we solve for the unknown, which is represented by y. You won't say which is represented by negative 2. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
100%. So let's start again. Let's start afresh.
So, sir, this is an equation because of the equal sign to solve for the unknown, which is m. And according to this equation, whatever number plus 5 must give you 30. And we have to interpret this equation. And in order to do that, when we transpose, we have to change the legal sign of the term, and we have to leave the remaining terms as they are.
100%. So now, maybe let me make a comment on this one. So that part of what is it? Explaining the problem, Shreyas. So you're going to say what number when you say negative. So can you see? You start with that negative because when you prove, you're going to say negative into plus 5 will be equals to 30. So can you see what number when you say negative that number? And again, that number, it could be negative 4, for example. Not that it's going to always be a positive number. So regardless of whether that number be negative or positive, you say what number when you say negative, that number plus 5 will have to give you 30. Can you understand that part?
Yes, sir.
100%. So now let's solve, because you are now at that stage where you solve for the unknown. Let's solve Shreyas.
So you have to take your m, which has a negative sign in front of it, which equals to 5 minus 30.
So wait, what am I writing first, Shreyas?
So you have to take your m, which equals to 5 minus 30.
So you're saying I write m equals to 5 minus 30.
The m has to have its negative sign in front of it.
So you're saying I've got negative m over there,
which negative m equals to negative 25.
Okay, all right. So you mean negative m is equals to negative 25.
Possible, sir, when you're solving for it, do you have to put your negative sign in front of the m?
Sorry, say again.
So when you're solving, do you have to put your negative sign in front of the m? Or you also have to change it to a positive number?
Yes. No, you only change when you transpose, but m you are not transposing. So is that part where on that statement you say whatever number that is left, you write it as it is.
Yes, sir.
Shreyas, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
So did you get that part? I wanted to say, based on that reminder of ours, we are saying when you transpose, change the original sign of the term that you are transposing, and term or terms remaining you write as they are. So when you transpose, remember, when you transpose, you are simply moving it to the other side of the equal sign. Ne?
Yes, sir.
So when you move that 5, what are you remaining with on this side?
It's on the left side.
Yes, because you are now moving that to the right side.
Your M.
So is it M or is it negative M?
Negative M.
So can you see, that is the reason why you have to write that negative in front of M, because on the original equation it was given as negative M. So you are only rewriting that to the other side.
Yes, sir.
So does it make sense now?
Yes, sir, it does.
So when you write this on the other side, what are you getting on this side? You firstly write what is already there.
Yes, sir.
Which is you are going to have negative 30, which is equals to, already there's a 30 there, so you must start with that 30 Shreyas.
Yes, sir.
Only after you've written that 30, then you can write the number that you are transposing in the opposite sign.
Yes, sir.
So, Shreyas, now I'm going to give you an opportunity to give it a try for the last time. I'm sure you're going to get it right this time around. So you can just take me through in terms of what to write. And again, if need be, you can also explain why you are doing whatever that you'll be doing. So what am I writing first?
So take your negative M.
So I'm writing negative M
Equals to positive 30.
is equals to positive 30
minus 5. Which negative
minus
M will give
5. Ne?
Yes, sir. Negative M will give me 25.
So remember to mention positive 25. Ne?
Yes, sir.
And then
I think that's all.
Remember, Shreyas, because we are solving for unknown, which is letter M, in the end, you must say M is equals to something.
Yes, sir.
So that means you need to remove something there. What is it that you need to remove, Shreyas?
The negative sign. I mean the M.
So how So how do we remove the negative sign?
So I'm not sure.
So you remember there you've got 1, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So that means you divide by -1. What you do on the left, you also do on the right.
Yes, sir.
So, Shreyas, when you punch on a calculator, what is -1 divided by -1?
-1 over 1.
So it's +1, isn't it?
1, yes, sir.
So can you see there is that +1 over there? So +1m is the same as just +m. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
So now, what is 25 divided by -1?
-25.
-25. So now let's prove that answer plus 5. It must give us 30. In brackets, what am I writing for us?
So you'll be writing +25. Hello, sir.
Shreyas, are you still there? Wait, inside brackets, 25.
Yes, sir.
In brackets, you're saying I'm writing +25.
Yes, sir.
Shreyas, I just wanted to confirm this one. So, tell me what to substitute inside brackets. I just want to confirm if I heard you correctly.
So it's 25, sir. -25.
Is it negative or positive?
So it has to be a negative because of the negative sign in front of the bracket.
Wait. You're saying the reason for it to be negative inside the brackets is because of what?
Because of the negative sign outside the bracket.
I'm not sure, Shreyas, but for this one, I'm just going to explain it to you. So inside the brackets, it's going to be -25 because our final answer.
No, sir.
You're about to say something, Shreyas?
No, sir. They can carry on, sir.
So I was saying inside the brackets, it's -25 because when we calculated for the value of m, it's equals to -25. So that is why inside the brackets it's -25. So this negative that you see is from the original equation. So just like that positive, it's from the original equation. Same as that. So we just want to punch the whole of this and see if it's going to be equals to 30. So I'm not sure if you now understand Shreyas. So it's more like negative into, this is the value of m, plus that 5 must be equals to 30. So when you substitute on the inside the brackets, you substitute that value where you say your unknown, it's represented to whatever value that it is. So Shreyas, I'm not sure if you understood that part. You got it 100%, ne? So when you substitute negative 25 there and punch everything, what does it give you?
So it gives me negative 20.
Wait, tell me, how did you punch it? Explain to me how did you punch it?
So I opened my bracket, I put my negative sign, put negative 25, I closed my bracket, I added plus 45, equals negative 20.
But now, did you punch that negative, Shreyas?
No, sir. So I just did, it gives me positive 30.
You have to punch it as. So can you see? So when you punch, this is negative, so you punch it as it is. So you say negative on a calculator, you open bracket, and you say negative 25 close plus 5. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
100%. So now I'm going to give you those problems that you need to work on, Shreyas. So as part of your homework, number 1, let's say we've got that 90 minus p, that's equals to 40. Number 2, we've got that 16 plus x is equals to negative 16. Then number 3, let's say we've got negative y plus 3 is equals to 97. So Shreyas, when you answer these questions, also show me the part where you prove. So that means you're going to solve, and say maybe your p is equals to, for example, let me say 1. Then from there, say 19 minus 1 is equals to. Punch it on a calculator and write whatever value that you get. If you don't get the correct value, then it means you made a mistake somewhere, which you need to then try to make corrections on that. Ne? So Shreyas, this brings us to the end of our lesson for today. I hope you fully understood almost everything, isn't it? So I just noticed we've got someone also on the line. I'm going to try and unmute this one and just check allow to speak. Tele, can you unmute your mic? I just want to ask you a few questions.
Hello, sir.
In which grade are you?
10.
Or you're also in grade 10, eh?
Yes.
So did you understand everything that I was explaining to Shreyas?
100%, sir.
No questions from your side.
Not for now, but if could you help me with some what's it? A section in maths.
Which section is it?
It's actually 2 sessions. Simultaneous equation. And there's some on there's just some sums on quadratic equations.
Okay, then it's fine. I think for now, if you understood this lesson, then we'll just discuss the rest via inbox. So Shreyas, on your side, are you happy with today's lesson?
Yes, I'm happy, sir.
So do you think you'll be able to try these 3 problems?
Yes, sir. I'll try now.
Okay, no, 100%, guys. Shreyas and Tele, thanks very much, guys, for joining. I think we'll see each other on our next lesson. Eh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, cheers. Bye.
See you.